Hello there everybody, a very good morning to you all and welcome back to HowToTrade.com and welcome back to another live stream here across our social media channels, our YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, X and of course in our trading room as well. This is our week ahead stream. I hope everyone has had a good weekend and is ready for a new lot of market news, a new lot of price action, a new lot of opportunities, all that sort of thing we should be prepared for. And hopefully the stream will put you in good stead for the trading week. So it's a stream that I do at the same time every single Monday and it seems to be quite popular. So I'll continue to do that. And basically what we do is we try and break down not only the top events of the week, but also sort of my top opportunities of the week as well. So hopefully we are able to do that. If you are there across our socials or across the trading room, pop up and say hello. I know it's Monday morning, everyone's tired from the weekend, but we have to plow on and get ready for these trading opportunities. So pop up and say hello if you are there today. Good to see those who have said hello already. Hello to you, Clone. Kylexi, good to see you as well. Hello to you, Treehawk. Good morning, Harry. Good morning to you as well. Always good to see you. Thank you very much for the message today. Hello to you, Jerry92. Good to see you. Hope you had a good weekend. And Dan, I hope you had a very good weekend as well. It was an international break in the football, so I was and I had a nice chilled weekend, and I was a bit frustrated because I wanted football. I wanted Premier League football. So anyone else feel that as well? Because it was really annoying. Hello to you, Carl. Carl's just sent me a message about trading. I will get back to you on that, Carl. No problem at all. Hello to you, Martin. Good morning. And good morning to you, David, as well. Good to see you. And across on our YouTube channel, good morning to you, Bruce. Hello to you. Thank you very much for the message just before I came on the stream there. And I hope you are doing well. So this isn't a stream that necessarily takes too long to do. It's not anything that it's too taxing, but it's an important stream and it's an important time in any trader's week. It's that first initial breakdown of what you expect to come from the week. And so the way that I do this typically is that I go onto the economic calendar first of all, and I break down the top events. And the reason I do that is because that gives me an idea of when I should expect particular times to be volatile. So if I've got a trade on a particular currency or I'm looking to trade a particular currency, I need to know if there's anything that's going to sort of move the needle in terms of fundamental news event. And even if you're someone who hates economics, because there's traders out there who don't listen to fundamental news at all, at least have these events in the back of your mind so you know when they're coming. I'm not saying you need to study them and know what they're about, but at least know when they're coming, because that is important. So if we head over to our economic calendar, and that's found on the HowToTrade.com website, and if you hover over resources, you can go down to trading tools, and then when you go on trading tools, you'll see the economic calendar, and you can just load that open as well. So here we are, and then what you can do with this calendar, which I like, is you can skip to the next 7 days, and that basically is the next this week in the markets. Then when we hover over to the impact, I'm only really interested in the high impact news events. The day-to-day stuff, if you're into fundamentals and you're into economics, you can start to look at some of the medium impact news events, of course. But if I'd done that today, then we'd be here all day, and people probably don't want to me to sit here and talk about all of the medium impact news events as well as the high impact. But just to let you know, these are the main ones that are really going to drive like the headlines that you see on Bloomberg, etc. This week. So nothing today. It's the 9th of September. It's a Monday, and that's why it's the Monday or the Sunday evening is such a really good time to prep your trading for the week. So there isn't any high impact news today. There never normally is on a Monday, to be fair. And as we head into Tuesday, which is September the 10th, again, there isn't anything really high impact that we need to be worried about. So in terms of you traders out there who don't like to trade around news events, Mondays and Tuesdays are always typically a really nice day to trade. So that's a good one to do. On the 11th is when we start to see the week really kick into gear. And I always say sort of Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, they're always sort of your days where you get the sort of directional move of the week. And therefore, we should really be bookmarking Wednesday as a day where we start to see the volatility. Why is that? Well, because we've got the presidential debates between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. So that anyone who's into the politics, that does move markets. Will it be a massive market mover? I was listening to because I watched Bloomberg pretty much have it on all throughout the day, and they were debating whether it's going to be a big market mover. I'm not 100% sure if it's going to be, but it's something that could move the needle. So we need to be aware that that's coming. And that's obviously in US markets. And then, of course, as well, we've got the consumer price index data. And I believe if I check the streaming schedule, I'm actually going to cover that event for you live. So it is a high impact news event. It's probably the biggest US event of the week, US inflation. I don't think it's as important as non-farm payrolls, but still could get quite a lot of volatility off the back of the release, a lot of market movement off the back of the release, and therefore I'm going to be covering that event for you live. So I'm going to break down the US inflation print and look to try and study that market move as it happens live for you on Wednesday, and that's at 1:30 in the afternoon. I'll be on at 1:15. That's it really for Wednesday session. As we head into Thursday, really the European Central Bank takes centre stage, as it will probably deliver a fresh rate cut. So as we know, we saw the Bank of Canada last week cut rates. We're probably likely to see the ECB cut rates. And therefore, for those of you who trade the euro, whether you trade euro dollar or euro pound or any euro related pairs or euro related markets, like the DAX, for example, the German stock index, this is going to be a big one for you, because on Thursday, nearly the same time as the inflation the day before, we have the ECB delivering its next monetary policy decision. And with that, you get a monetary policy statement. And then half an hour after release, you get an ECB conference as well from Christine Lagarde, who's the governor of the ECB. Sandwiched in between those two prints, we've got PPI data out of the US. PPI is essentially producer inflation, and it's a high impact news event. It sits below inflation, the headline inflation print, but again, Thursday should be a good day where we can hopefully trade some nice moves across pretty much all the markets, but particularly Europe and US markets. Will be a good day to trade that on Thursday. And then we end the week on Friday with a Michigan Consumer Sentiment Index. It's a high impact news event, but it's borderline medium into high impact. So we'll see how confident consumers are feeling over in the US, and that will have an impact again on dollar, stock market, etc. So I would say that it's not a week which is littered with high impact news. However, we have got some really important ones scattered around there, particularly US inflation, the ECB decision. They're the sort of two main ones for this week. So now we know what the main events are. Now we can have a look at the charts and study some of the top opportunities for this week as well. So let's just quickly, I'll just check if I've not had any other messages in the room. Hello to you, Wizard Alvin. Good to see you. Wizard Alvin says, for those of us who are trading, it's the screaming schedule. I like it. Really good. Dan says he hates international breaks. Likewise. And Jerry92 is a Man United fan. Good for you. I'm not. I'm a Chelsea fan. If that people want to switch off their stream now, but there we go. Right. Okay. Let's now head over to our charts and just try and have a look at some of the top opportunities for this week. Are there any markets that anyone's looking at in particular they want me to run through? Drop it in the chat room and I'll try and cover those markets for you. Let's start with gold. Okay. Don't need that. It's one of my alerts that I've got set. And sometimes the great thing about really trading on the sort of high-ish time frames, your 4-hour daily time frames, is that sometimes when I do, because like this is my prep work that I've done. Oh, I don't want the Nasdaq. It's not what I wanted at all. I wanted the gold market, is that sometimes the analysis is already there. Sometimes the analysis is already there and we just need to sort of refresh our minds on what it is we're expecting. So basically what I've got here is I've got a Fibonacci retracement. This is on gold, which sits at the weekly swing high there, and our swing low, which I've marked as being down here. And let me see if the auto fib does agree with that. I think it's on the daily time frame, it's a lot clearer. Yeah, it does. Right. Okay, cool. So there's my Fibonacci retracement tool that's drawn from this swing low down up to this swing high. And this is the basis of how I start my analysis, and it's something that I've actually been testing over the past couple of weeks, because yes, believe it or not, I do add different things to the way I trade. It's not always set in stone, and this is a new way that I've started to do things. It helps me prepare for the week. I basically get the higher time frame fib retracement, and then when I get into my areas of interest, that's when I use my smart money concepts to really hone in on actual opportunities. So let's talk about gold. What we've got here, and I can delete that now because that was NFP last week. We did get a softer employment. We did get that softer employment report on NFP. So I am bullish on gold. As you can see, there's two scenarios that I've got, and those two scenarios have stayed exactly the same because the markets haven't changed really. For the past couple of weeks, gold's been stuck. It's just been pausing at these highs, which is still a bullish sign for me. Basically, what I'm looking for is this daily fib where that 38.2% is. You can actually see what we've got here is a bullish order block at 2457, and what I'm looking for is the market to push lower down towards this bullish order block, and that sits at the area between 2450 and 2458, and I'm looking for that to be our springboard for gold prices to go higher. Now, why am I looking for that as my springboard? Because if you look what happened here, here's another bullish order block or demand zone. You can see how that's been respected. And therefore, if we do trade below this 2550 area, and maybe I'd want to cover any sort of liquidity grab or liquidity sweep, so maybe I'd want to put my stop loss at 2445, something like that. If we target up here, you can see even if we target the top of this swing, the all-time high basically, it's a 6.4 to 1 risk reward, and I'm really holding out for this. The other alternative is, and the more aggressive option, is that we get a break straight away above this bearish order block, and then a little retest and then a move higher. But I prefer the move where we get a bit of a deeper retracement. I always do, because I want to try and catch on to some nice discounted areas, and that for me is the area where I'm looking to sort of do business in gold. So around that 2457 to 2550 area, I think could act as a nice support area to push gold higher. Good afternoon to you, Ben and Goli. Good afternoon, coach. Please can you check for me pound dollar? Yes, that was always going to be on my list as well. Good to see. Oh, Dan wants to look at cable as well, so I can look at that. Euro dollar, USD. Okay, good, right. So that's my analysis on gold. Let's look at cable, because two people have asked for that. Okay. Gold. Cable. Similar thing. Here we are. Fibonacci. Weekly Fibonacci from this swing low. Let's make sure I get it right. Right on the line there. To this swing high. There's our weekly Fibonacci. Therefore, where are our areas of interest? Well, we can see we're in a bullish trend. And therefore, that my areas of interest 100% sit between basically around this 1.3 area. 1.3 is a key psychological round number as well. I like to use those in my analysis. And really what you can see is if we break it down onto a lower time frame, we get our we get our smart money concepts on the chart on the screen. And you can see that, and Dan's right, we have got imbalance here, or an FVG, whatever you want to call it, 50%. It doesn't really sit in our area of interest. Our area of interest begins at this area here, at the 38.2. I call that one the golden pocket, and this one here the golden zone. I should call it something else really. It's not really gold, but there we go. Right. Then what you can see is what I'm looking for is a move to fill this fair value gap into our bullish order block, and then potentially a bit of a retracement to go higher. Because although you could argue that, you know, the dollar's been oversold for quite some time, well, I'm still happy to take the risk. I'm still happy to follow the weekly trend and the daily trend, which is still bullish. And that is basically a move down towards 1 point. So that's 1.303. My slight concern here is that we do get a test of 1.3, which means that I may want to cover, you know, 10 pips below that 1.3 area, just in case what we get is a bit of a deeper retracement and actually a wick and a bit of a trade below that. So I'm happy to take that risk. So it depends. It depends on your risk appetite. If you want to take it and say no, I want to trade it at this bullish order block, then we could say, all right, well, you know, you're going to get a really nice risk reward there. Maybe you can lower the risk. If you want to cover, you know, probably want to cover down here, you can still get a 4.2 to 1 trade, but you'll cover sort of any market trickery or wickery below this order block. So that's really my view for cable. So a little bit more downside, but there is higher time frame support coming in within the next sort of 80 to 90 pips. Euro dollar's a really similar view for me. Again, if we just turn that off, I don't like this. I prefer the cable play to the euro dollar play. The reason being is because you can see that really we're just sort of stuck in a broad range on euro dollar, and we have been since November 2022. This is a little bit of a breakout, so that's where I've drawn my fib from this swing low to this swing high. And then when we break that down onto the lower time frames, you can see sitting right at that 50%. Yeah, look at that. I've actually got an alert set there already. That's interesting that it doesn't see that area as being a support area, which I find interesting. It sees this area here. Okay, fair enough. And therefore the support area within our area of interest sits 1.09, 1.1 will probably act as a little bit of support as well. And similar sort of thing, we're looking to target the top of the fib, the top of the high, because we're just following the structure on the higher time frames at the moment. And therefore we could see this area here at the support. It's not a bad area, to be fair, but I actually think that, and this is where, if you use indicators solely to rely on everything, then you're never going to have your own opinion. I actually think that, in my opinion, this area is a good area of demand, and the indicator hasn't picked up on it, and that's why it's important to have your own knowledge of stuff as well. Why is that a good area for me? Well, there's our last, zoom in on that. There's our last bearish candle before the impulsive move higher, and it come and created an FVG as well. Nice reaction from that 50% of that FVG, and this for me is an area of demand. Yeah, okay, that is a good area, to be fair. So you've got two areas there. If you want to play the deeper retracement, then for me 1.094 is a nice one. Or if you want to trust the indicator, then 1.09897 is a nice support area for euro dollar. So you can see that I'm just using the higher time frames, and then I'm honing in on my sort of 4 hour / 1 hour, if the 4 hours isn't clear, supply and demand zones or order blocks or FVGs. Okay, right. What else? Just a quick look at USD-ZAR. I don't really trade it, Dan, to be fair, but I know some people that do. Nice impulsive move. That 50% pretty much filled. Nice trade higher. So as it stands right now, Dan, we are close to having a breakout, like you said. We're currently trading, I would call that a minor bearish order block, which is sort of within this pause. So if we do manage to get a breakout above 18, then it's go time for me. Breakout above 18, retracement, and then a move higher. That's a 4-hour time frame, sorry. On the hourly time frame, it's really it's all going to depend how we react from here. You could actually argue that this area, because you can see the market's ranging at these lows, pausing at these lows, you could argue that down to here is a potentially good sell opportunity for USD-ZAR around this hourly order block. There's a lot of confluence here, which could mean this acts as a resistance area. We've got the 18 level, we've got a liquidity sweep, equal highs. You can see those equal highs been taken, and we've got a bearish order block. So if you want to wait for the bull case, I'd wait for a breakout above all of this. Alternatively, you could just play the range. This is the top of the range. You could play a little sell from that area around 17.9 for USD-ZAR, but it is looking like it could break out. The market is bottoming out, and therefore you could see that this acts as a springboard to get that breakout above. But there's a lot of resistance at around that 18 area at the moment, so we're going to see how that one trades this week as well. I think we'll probably get a test of that in the next coming days, maybe even in the next few hours. We could get a test of that area. And then finally, everyone, I just wanted to touch on the Nasdaq. Lost a trade on Friday on the Nasdaq, lost 2% on the Nasdaq. I was trying to trade it from the 50%. Trade never really got going. It happens. No. I have absolutely no problem with the trade that I took. You can actually see that we are still within an area of interest. The difficulty for me is I've not really found the support area. I've not really found the order block or the FVG that would make it a good trade, and so I'm finding it difficult to sort of get involved in this. I could maybe get a scalping opportunity. Look at that. There was your fair value gap over the weekend. I missed that because it was at 12:30 at night. But look at that. Fair value gap filled. Boom. Within our area of interest as well. So I'll have to I'm going to have to update you accordingly when it comes to the stock market, because although the Nasdaq is in my area of interest, I'm not totally convinced in the price action at the moment. It may be a case of trying to get into a lower time frame order block or FVG. However, if you do that, then of course I always lower my risk. As soon as I go from 4 hour to 1 hour, I lower my risk, and then I lower my risk even further when I go down onto sort of 15 and 5 minutes. So yeah, catching a nice move this morning, but I'm not expecting that necessarily to continue. So we could get a pullback at some point. I will try and find a good area of support for the Nasdaq within our area of interest this week, and when I do, I shall let you know. Okay. Alrighty then. And that was your breakdown for this week. So to conclude, we've got some really nice hello to Matthew and FaZe, by the way. Sorry, I've had a couple of other questions. USD yen is an interesting one indeed. Yeah. So USD yen, I find it hard to believe that we've come this close to this low and we're not gonna take it out. Clone. So if you're gonna play the dollar bear case, this for me is potentially we're getting some nice free pips on offer here. Nothing comes free. I stand by the fact, and it doesn't always happen, is that often when a big low like that's printed, we normally come and run that low at least once. And therefore, if we're going to turn bullish, I'll be surprised if we don't get at least a run at this low first before the springboard higher. So that means that for me right now on dollar yen, I'm really looking at something like this. FVG, 50%, and I'm looking for that. And that's as simple as my trading gets for dollar yen. Last week I had a sell limit trade up at this order block. You see this one up here. It's still valid. It didn't get tested. I actually deleted my fib because I thought that because the fib started here obviously, and I thought once my fib gets breached, then I'll always just delete the analysis and start again. So clone for me, I am looking for at least a test of this low coming up this week, potentially coming from 144.5 could be a good area for that. Harry, you expecting the US 100 and US 500 reaction on the presidential debate? I think there might be some volatility around it. I'm finding it hard to believe we're going to get it's going to be a massive market move. It probably will be now, but I can't see how it's going to change too much. Unless it really moves the goalpost in terms of who's going to win the election. But who's positive for what? Sort of. I'm going to say no. I'm going to stay out of that conversation, Harry. I'll see how it goes. I can't imagine we're going to get a huge move off the back of that presidential debate. But we shall see. If I'm wrong about it, then at least I know for the ones coming up in the future that we're going to get some. But I think it could just be, some whipsaw action around it, to be honest with you. And yes, FaZe, your chart is absolutely right. I still think cable can drop another 100 pips. You see my support areas and about 100 pips away. So if you want to play that downside, 100 pips of downside is really, really nice. And your area there is decent as well. There's nothing wrong with that. I just think that downside might be limited to about 90 to 100 pips from where the price of cable is right now. Because that's where my higher time frame of support comes in. Okay. All right, then, everybody. Just before I go, if you are looking to trade with a broker or anything like that, obviously we are Switch Markets as well. HowToTrade Switch Markets, it's our broker sort of thing. So they are doing an offer at the moment over at Switch Markets where if you deposit up to $5,000, they will match your deposit. Which is a really, really nice promotion or thing to get involved in. So if you are looking to do that, head over to switchmarkets.com or message me for more details and I'll point you in the right direction. I will post a trade idea in the trading room on one of the charts that we've just been through with some written analysis. It's probably going to be on gold because I like that play a lot. So we'll see how that one, see how this week goes. And we're going to be posting more market analysis articles on the website as well. And of course, I'll be streaming at pretty much the same time every single day, 10 o'clock UK time, apart from on inflation day when I cover the event live. So make sure you check out the streaming schedule over on our website to learn when I'm coming on, basically. Okay, good stuff. Thank you very much for tuning in this morning. Do have a good start to the week. Always prepare. That's what we've done. And trade well and trade safe. And I'll catch you all tomorrow. Thank you very much.